You know, for over 40 years, I've been studying the laws of physics. I've worked on string theory. I've explored the mysteries of the universe, and I thought I had seen everything. But what happened 11 hours ago with 3I Atlas has shaken me to my core. This object just split in two, and NASA lost track of the second piece. Now let me explain why this is absolutely terrifying and why I haven't slept since I got the call from my colleagues at NASA. As a theoretical physicist, I deal with impossible scenarios every day. I talk about parallel universes, I discuss wormholes, I explore the fabric of space-time itself. But those are theories, mathematical models. What we're witnessing with 3I Atlas is real, is happening right now, and it violates everything we know about how objects behave in space. When I first heard that this object had split apart, my immediate thought was, okay, perhaps we're seeing a natural fragmentation event. Comets can break apart under gravitational stress or thermal pressure. We've seen it before with Shoemaker-Levy 9 when it broke into multiple pieces before hitting Jupiter. But here's the problem. 3I Atlas didn't just break apart randomly. The split was clean, precise, almost geometric in nature, and the moment it divided, one half of it vanished from every single tracking system we have. Now I want you to understand what this means from a physics standpoint. We have satellites that can track objects the size of a basketball from thousands of miles away. The James Webb Space Telescope can see galaxies that formed 13 billion years ago at the edge of the observable universe. We can detect neutrinos passing through the Earth from supernovas that exploded in distant galaxies, but we cannot find half of 3I Atlas, an object that should be thousands of feet across, traveling through our own solar system. This isn't just unusual, this is impossible according to our current understanding of physics. Either this object has technology that can bend light around itself, making it invisible to all electromagnetic detection, or it has somehow slipped into a region of space that we don't have access to. And both of those possibilities should terrify you. Let me walk you through exactly what happened based on the classified briefing I received from NASA just 6 hours ago. 48 hours before the split, 3I Atlas was cruising along a predictable trajectory. My colleagues and I were already concerned because this object was accelerating without any visible means of propulsion. Normal comets slow down as they move away from the sun due to gravitational forces and solar wind resistance. 3I Atlas was speeding up, not by a little bit, by percentages that made our equations fall apart. We couldn't explain the energy source. There was no outgassing that would account for this acceleration. No thermal venting, nothing. The object was gaining speed, and we had absolutely no explanation for how or why. Then 36 hours ago, the object started transmitting. Now when I say transmitting, I don't mean it was sending radio signals like some kind of alien spacecraft from a science fiction movie. What I mean is that every observatory watching this thing detected a pulsing energy pattern emanating from its core. The pulses came exactly every 11 minutes. Not approximately every 11 minutes, exactly every 11 minutes down to the nanosecond. That kind of precision doesn't happen in nature. Natural phenomena have variations, fluctuations, irregularities. This was like a cosmic metronome, perfectly timed, perfectly consistent. My colleagues at Harvard ran the numbers, and the probability of this occurring naturally is so close to zero that we might as well call it impossible. The scientific community went into overdrive. Everyone wanted to understand what we were looking at. Was this some kind of natural phenomenon we'd never encountered before? Was it technology? Was it something else entirely that we didn't even have a framework to understand? The debates were intense. I participated in 3 emergency video conferences with scientists from 12 different countries. Everyone had theories, but nobody had answers. And then 24 hours ago, the signal just stopped. Complete silence. Every telescope, every detection system showed nothing. 3. I-Atlas went electromagnetically dark. That's when people started to get really worried, because objects don't just stop emitting energy unless something fundamental has changed about their structure or composition. 18 hours ago, observatories in Chile picked up something strange. 3 I-Atlas appeared to be elongating. Its shape was changing from roughly spherical to more cylindrical. The transformation happened over the course of about 2 hours, which in astronomical terms is incredibly fast. Imagine if Earth suddenly started stretching into an oval shape over the course of an afternoon. That's the kind of rapid structural change we're talking about. The laws of physics that govern solid objects, the tensile strength of materials, the gravitational forces that hold celestial bodies together, none of that should allow for this kind of transformation. And yet it was happening right in front of our eyes, captured by multiple independent observation systems. Then 11 hours ago, it happened. 3 I-Atlas split into 2 distinct objects. The separation occurred along what appeared to be a predetermined seam, almost like a spacecraft separating from a booster rocket. The split was clean, controlled, and completely unlike any natural fragmentation event we've ever documented. One half, let's call it Object A, continued on the original trajectory. We're still tracking Object A. It's right where our models say it should be, moving at the same impossible speed, heading toward the outer solar system. But Object B, the second half, did something that has every physicist I know questioning their understanding of reality. The moment the split occurred, Object B accelerated perpendicular to the original trajectory, and then it vanished. Now, when I say vanished, I need to be very precise about what that means. Object B didn't fade from view gradually as it moved away. It didn't get occluded by another celestial body. It didn't hide behind the sun or disappear into the glare of a star. One moment it was there, clearly visible on multiple tracking systems, and the next moment it was gone. Completely and instantaneously gone, as if someone had simply erased it from existence. Every telescope that had been locked onto it reported the same thing. Signal lost, target not acquired, no electromagnetic signature detected. Nothing on infrared, nothing on radio frequencies, nothing on any spectrum of light we can observe. An object potentially miles across just disappeared. I've been contacted by colleagues from around the world asking me to explain this. How does something that large just vanish? What physics would allow for that? And I have to tell them what I'm telling you right now. I don't know. Based on everything I understand about the universe, about quantum mechanics, about relativity, about the laws that govern matter and energy, this shouldn't be possible. If Object B is still in our dimension, still in our space-time, we should be able to detect it. Even if it were coated in the most advanced stealth materials imaginable, we'd still see its gravitational effect on surrounding space. We'd detect the way it bends light around it. We'd see something, but there's nothing. It's as if Object B slipped into a parallel dimension or cloaked itself using technology so advanced it might as well be magic. The immediate concern, and this is what's keeping military strategists and space agency directors awake tonight, is that we have no idea where Object B is or where it's headed. Object A is still on a trajectory that will take it out of the solar system. We're not worried about Object A, but Object B could be anywhere. It could be heading toward Earth right now, and we'd have no way of knowing until it's too late. Our entire planetary defense system is based on the assumption that we can see threats coming. We track near-Earth objects, we calculate impact probabilities, we have contingency plans, but all of that depends on being able to see the threat. What do you do when the threat is invisible? Now, I want to address the question that everyone is asking, but that most scientists are afraid to say out loud. Is this technology, is 3I Atlas artificial? The honest answer is that we don't have enough data to say definitively. But I can tell you what we do know. Natural objects don't split with geometric precision. Natural objects don't emit perfectly timed energy pulses. Natural objects don't accelerate without visible propulsion. Natural objects don't vanish from every detection system simultaneously. Each one of these observations individually could potentially have a natural explanation, however unlikely. But all of them together, the probability approaches zero. We're looking at either a completely new type of natural phenomenon that rewrites our understanding of physics, or we're looking at technology. And if it's technology, then we need to seriously consider where it came from and what its purpose might be. The other possibility that I've been discussing with my colleagues is even more unsettling. What if object B didn't vanish at all? What if it's still there, but it's utilizing some form of technology or physical principle that makes it undetectable to our current instruments? There are theoretical frameworks in quantum physics that would allow for this. If you could manipulate the quantum states of matter in specific ways, you could theoretically create an object that doesn't interact with electromagnetic radiation. It would be invisible to telescopes, to radar, to any light-based detection. We've talked about these possibilities in theoretical papers, but we never thought we'd actually encounter them. The technology required would be centuries beyond anything humanity currently possesses. Here's what NASA is doing right now, and they've asked me not to discuss this publicly, but I believe the public has a right to know. Every available telescope and detection system has been redirected to try and find object B. They're scanning the entire solar system using every frequency, every detection method we have. They're looking for gravitational anomalies, for distortions in the cosmic microwave background, for any hint that a massive object is out there, even if we can't see it directly. Military satellites have been repositioned. The Space Force, which most people don't even realize exists as a functional entity, has activated protocols that were designed for exactly this kind of scenario. And so far, they've found nothing. 48 hours of intensive searching by the most advanced technology humanity has ever created, and we have absolutely no idea where this thing went. The scientific community is divided right now. Some researchers believe object B was destroyed in the split, that it broke into pieces too small for us to track effectively. But that doesn't explain the instantaneous disappearance or the controlled nature of the separation. Others think that object B changed trajectory in a way we didn't anticipate and is simply in a location we haven't searched yet. The solar system is vast, and if this object isn't emitting any detectable energy, finding it would be like searching for a black pebble in a dark ocean. Then there are those of us who think something much stranger is happening. Something that challenges our fundamental understanding of physics and possibly hints at intelligence behind this object's behavior. I've spent my career making the impossible sound possible, explaining complex physics to the public, showing how the laws of nature allow for extraordinary things. But right now, I'm confronted with something that doesn't fit any framework I know. 3I Atlas split in a manner that suggests deliberate action. One half continues on a predictable path, while the other performs a maneuver that seems designed to evade detection. That's not how rocks behave in space. That's not how comets respond to gravitational forces. That's how an intelligence might act if it wanted to observe us while remaining hidden, or if it wanted to position itself somewhere strategic without being tracked. The implications of this are staggering. If 3I Atlas is artificial, if it represents technology from another civilization, then we're witnessing first contact, but not in the way anyone expected. There's no communication, no greeting, no peaceful exchange of information. Instead, we have an object that split itself in two and then hid one half from us using methods we can't comprehend or counter. What does that tell us about the intentions behind this object? Why hide unless you don't want to be found? Why evade our detection systems unless you're planning something that requires secrecy? These are questions that I've been asked repeatedly over the past 11 hours, and I don't have reassuring answers. What keeps me awake, what truly frightens me as someone who has studied the cosmos for decades, is the realization that we might be completely outmatched here. If this is technology, it's operating on principles that are beyond our current scientific understanding. We can't see it, we can't track it, we can't predict its movements. We're essentially blind to whatever object B is doing right now. It could be studying Earth, it could be moving into position for some purpose we can't even imagine, or it could have left the solar system entirely using a propulsion method that doesn't register on any of our instruments. We simply don't know, and that uncertainty is perhaps the most unsettling aspect of this entire situation. I want to be clear about something because I know many of you are thinking this sounds like science fiction. Everything I'm telling you is based on verified observations from multiple independent sources. The data has been checked and rechecked. This isn't speculation or conspiracy theory. This is documented scientific reality that happens to be so strange, it challenges everything we thought we knew about how the universe works. When I speak with my colleagues, when I review the data, when I try to construct a theoretical framework that explains what we've observed, I keep coming back to the same conclusion. We're witnessing something unprecedented, and we're not adequately prepared to understand it or respond to it. The questions we need to ask now are critical. If object B is still in the solar system, where is it? What is its purpose? Is it observing us, or is it positioning itself for some other objective? If it has left the solar system, how did it achieve the kind of acceleration necessary to do so invisibly? And perhaps most importantly, if 3I Atlas represents technology from an advanced civilization, why did they send it here? Why split it? Why hide half of it from us? These aren't just academic questions for scientists to debate in journals. These are immediate practical concerns that could affect the future of human civilization. We're potentially dealing with an intelligence that is so far beyond us technologically that we can't even detect their presence when they're in our own solar system. What I'm about to say next is going to sound alarmist, but I need you to understand that I'm not prone to panic or exaggeration. I've been a scientist my entire life. I deal in facts, in data, in reproducible observations. And based on the facts we have right now, humanity is in a position of complete vulnerability. We have an unknown object of potentially massive size operating in our solar system using technology or natural principles we don't understand. We can't see it, we can't track it, and we have no way of predicting what it might do next. Our planetary defense systems are designed around the assumption that we can detect threats. That assumption has just been proven false. If Object B decided to change course and head toward Earth right now, we might not know about it until it was entering our atmosphere. That's not a theoretical possibility. That's the reality we're facing. NASA has activated what they call Contingency Protocol 7, which very few people even know exists. This protocol was developed after the Chelyabinsk meteor incident in 2013, when a relatively small asteroid exploded over Russia with very little warning. The protocol essentially puts our space observation networks on maximum alert and coordinates with international partners to share data in real time. Right now, every major space agency on the planet is working together to try and locate Object B. They're sharing telescope time, they're cross-referencing data, they're using computational models to try and predict where an invisible object might be based on gravitational effects. So far, nothing has worked. The object remains lost. I've been asked by several news organizations whether people should be worried whether they should be preparing for some kind of emergency. And I have to tell you honestly, I don't know how to answer that question. On one hand, Object B might be completely harmless. It might have left the solar system, or it might be studying cosmic phenomena that have nothing to do with Earth. On the other hand, we're dealing with something that has demonstrated capabilities far beyond our technology and has actively concealed itself from us. That's concerning behavior. If someone breaks into your house and then hides where you can't find them, you don't assume they're there to help you. The analogy isn't perfect, but the principle applies. An unknown intelligence that hides itself from observation is not exhibiting reassuring behavior. What we need right now is more data. We need to understand what Object B is, where it went, and what its purpose might be. The scientific community is working around the clock on this. There are researchers who haven't left their labs in 2 days. Graduate students are running simulations trying to model every possible trajectory. Theoretical physicists, like myself, are reviewing our equations, wondering if we missed something fundamental about how matter and energy behave. And so far, we're coming up empty. The only thing everyone agrees on is that this is the most significant astronomical event in modern history, and we're only beginning to understand its implications. I want to end by saying this. For my entire career, I believe that we're not alone in the universe. The mathematics makes it almost certain that intelligent life exists elsewhere. But I always assumed that if we ever encountered that life, it would be through deliberate communication or through observing distant civilizations. I never expected to be standing here telling you that we might have an artificial object in our solar system right now, operating with technology we can't comprehend, pursuing objectives we can't discern. This changes everything. If 3I Atlas is what I think it might be, then humanity has just been shown how small we really are, how limited our understanding is, and how unprepared we are for what might be coming. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and understand that what happens next could reshape our entire understanding of our place in the cosmos.